Baruch haba b'shem Adonai. Praised are those who come in God's name. Well, I got my name badge on. Am I out of trouble? This ties in with what I wanted to say this morning, but a dilemma apparently faced them. They didn't want to be right, so I have two name badges. One says Rabbi and the other just says Ken. And the one that just says Ken can be useful because you have to explain over and over what a rabbi is doing here. Since I'm the rabbi this morning, shalom. It's a great morning to be alive. Beautiful. We had the June gloom still with us, and we enjoy the cool weather that it brings. Some of you know me as Rabbi Ken Giz, which I am. Some as Rabbi, and some of you know me as Ken, and many of you simply know me as that guy that comes with Judy. There is a special prayer we Jews recite at special occasions, and as we are sharing this morning. I will recite the prayer for all of us and at this joyous time. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, shechianu, vekimanu, lazman hazeh. Praised are you, O Lord our God, sovereign of all, who has given us life, sustained us, and enabled us to reach this special time. And we all say, Amen. Most of you know that Judy, my wife, has been very ill, and she's not able to attend services. She really tried this morning. It just wasn't there. She was also advised to stay away from crowds. Mainly those walking petri dishes called children. Judy has been coming to this church for 66 years and misses being here on a regular basis. Once is not enough for her. She looks forward to returning and regularly in the future. She misses all your smiling faces. It was Reverend Mike who always referred to her as the smiling face when he looked out over the group. Judy gets great warmth from the hundreds and hundreds of prayers you have sent in the way of emails and cards and even phone calls. She reads each one more than once and keeps them in what has grown to be 2 large cardboard boxes full of cards and emails. When she is in need of a special pick-me-up, Judy looks through them and says, I am loved. Judy thanks all of you. Well, some of you might be asking a question, especially if you're new here. And if this guy is a rabbi, one of us is in the wrong place. And they might be asking, what type of rabbi is this guy? Well, the answer to that is simple. Having received Shmika, which is ordination documents, the ordination, I am a Jewish rabbi. Yeah, there's an in-joke there. By definition, all rabbis are Jewish. I'm not the first rabbi to stand in this pulpit in this sanctuary. Rabbi Leon Kahane of blessed memory delivered the morning message here many times over the years. Rabbi Kahane, who was always a mentor for me and helped me in my achieving rabbinical status, always commented how loving, special, and accepting this congregation is. He is surely missed, and he will always be remembered by us. This church is not my first encounter, by the way, with this denomination. In the early 60s, while at Arizona State University at Tempe, go Devils. Isn't that weird coming from a Christian pulpit? You say, I went to church and they had a rabbi yelling, "Go Devils." Don't bother explaining any farther than that. Nothing else will go. Well, this co-ed talked me into getting up on Sunday morning, picking her up at the women's dorm. We used to have women's and men's dorms. There were no intermix, and you had to go to the desk to get in. Pick her up in the morning, the women's dorm, and drive her to services at the Tempe Community Church. I met the young minister, Reverend Dalrymple, there, and with a name like Dalrymple, I thought it had to be out of a book. Wouldn't that be a character you would write about, Reverend Dalrymple? And we had some interesting Wednesday afternoons. He used to invite me to have coffee, look at his Model T he was restoring in the parking lot of the church, and his oil stains, which I'm sure were not appreciated. And we had some interesting philosophical discussions. One Sunday when I was escorting this young woman to church, Reverend Dalrymple met me at the door. "We are short a Sunday school teacher. Would you take the high school age group?" "But I am a Jew, not a Christian. This is a Christian Sunday school." The Reverend retorted, "You Jews all tell such great Bible stories. Just tell one of those stories." So I did for 3 Sundays. And then I got moved into the Wednesday night adult discussion group. That was 46 years ago. And look at this, I am still speaking at a UCC church. Oh, I got even with a young lady, Judy Krinke, later to be my wife. I took her to Friday night and made her go to Friday night student Jewish services at the Hillel Society on campus. So she had to go with me on Friday nights if I was to go with her on Sunday. Recently, we found that Reverend Mike Obenhauer knows Reverend Dalrymple, and they're friends. And he put us back in touch because we had been out of touch. He was a young man with a little kid when I met him. Now he's an old man with grandchildren. That's funny how that happens. When I sat down to formulate this message, I realized that I did not know what the people who are part of this wonderful church are called. Oh, I know names and nicknames, but what is the official name for congregants? My wife's family goes back for generations, and they consistently refer themselves as Congregationalists. But the current overall church structure is the result of the merger of several groups, of which Congregationalists is only one group. I wonder what the term of the members would be. Could it be an acronym? United Church of Christ, UCC. Unchurchy. No, doesn't work. Reverend Erin told me that she did not know of an official term, but she uses the expression UCCers. This congregation is in Manhattan Beach and is the Manhattan Beach Community Church. Would the name for congregants here be really Mbcc UCCers? Too much? Oh well. It says on this church's website, "We invite you to join us in celebration of God's infinite love, no matter who you are or where you are on life's journey. You are welcome here." And I have been. This is a warm and heartfelt invitation with a biblical basis. In Leviticus 29:34, "The ger who resides among you shall be to you as, I'm using from a Jewish translation, a little different, shall be to you as a citizen among you. You shall love him as yourself, for you are strangers in the land of Egypt. I am the Lord your God. The Hebrew word ger is often translated as alien or stranger, including in Jewish translations, so there's nothing wrong with that. But it refers to more than that. It refers to a person, an acquaintance, a neighbor, a friend who is different in customs, language, and even religion, but resides with you in your camp, your neighbor, your friend you go to parties with. Of course, in the Christian scriptures, you see the statement of what is later referred to as the two great commandments. From Jesus in Matthew 22 and Mark 12, you are told to love God and to love your neighbor as yourself. In this sanctuary, I am a rabbi, I am a ger. Here, I am a ger, but I am not a stranger, and I am always warmly received. This is usually thought to be as an ethic concerning the love or treatment of others as you would want them to treat you. Sounds familiar? This has become known in theological circles as the ethic or theology of reciprocity, or the golden rule, to make it simple. In Luke 6, it says, therefore, whatever you want men to do to you, do also to them, for this is the law of the prophets. The ethic appears in most all the major religions of the world, including Islam, where they say, you do not really believe until you wish for your brother what you wish for yourself. Buddhism, and if karma is not a statement of this, nothing is. What you do to others is going to come back and get you. Baha'i, Hindu, which also has karma. Of course, Christianity and Judaism as a basis. All the words are slightly different, but they head to the same place. Rabbi Kahane here always would tell us of the small, still voice. Maybe this is a sign of the message that's been received by all of us. And isn't it a nice thought that we may have implanted in all of us this warming feeling to give this, from the small, still voice, to give us a direction to go. In the Jewish version, it is expressed in a story best by Rabbi Hillel. The story is that Hillel, a rabbi, perhaps the greatest sage of the Second Temple period, and possibly a succession of rabbis instead of one, was approached by a very wealthy man who said that he would donate large sums of money if Hillel would teach him all of Judaism while standing on one leg. I know that some of you have thought that about ministers at this pulpit, and I hope I don't see you telling me to lift the leg up today. Hillel simply lifted his leg and answered, do not do to others what you would find abhorrent if done to you. The rest is commentary. Go study. At first, this seems to be just negative, but think of it this way. If you were poor and hungry, would you not find it abhorrent if those who could feed you would not? So it's so slightly different, and it may represent the difference between outreach of Judaism and Christianity. Now, the exact dates are not established for the Second Temple, but it is in the time of Jesus, and we know when the temple was, but with his questions over Jesus' age and Hillel's age, it is brought up, could they have met? And the answer is yes. The times overlap. In Luke 46, see, I've been reading my New Testament. Rabbi Kahane always did. After 3 days, they found Jesus in the temple, sitting among the teachers, listening to them and asking them questions. It makes one wonder. The golden rule of Judaism, the golden rule of Christianity, if they did meet, if Jesus did stand there and ask questions, wouldn't you love to be the proverbial fly on the wall? Wouldn't that be an interesting thing? A few years back, I was invited to share an extended Saturday Shabbat, which is our Shabbat, with a group of Hasidim from Chabad, a sect of Judaism, where the featured speaker and discussion leader for the day, the all-day event, they don't just go for an hour, was Rabbi Groner, the personal assistant to their leader, Rebbe Menachem Mendel. Rabbi, who's deceased now, blessed memory. And Rabbi Groner told this story. Now, Rabbi Groner may have been the second most powerful man at that time at Chabad. He was the personal assistant to their leader, their Rebbe. He told about a man who had the service contract, who was the rep for the service contract on their office equipment at the national headquarters of Chabad. And if you know, they're in every little town. They're all over. They're a big operation. The two men got to be good friends over the years, sharing family pictures and stories of special events, bar mitzvahs, and first communions, and everything else. But just before the account rep retired, he came to Rabbi Groner and asked, Rabbi, in all these years, we have been friends, but you have never told me, a Catholic, what a rabbi expects of me. Rabbi Groner, a very traditional Jew, big beard, mine looks little compared to his, long coat with the tassels hanging out, the big brimmed hat, the whole thing, thought about it, and he thought, Catholic theology, and he was a quite educated man. Do unto others, one God, to put it short. The rabbi then looked at his Catholic friend's eyes and said, as a rabbi, I want you to be the best Catholic you can be. Well, this rabbi, that's me, says that I want you, my friends, to continue to be the best, accepting, tolerant, and loving Mbcc UCCers you can, with all the hues of the theological spectrum as you have always looked at and have accepted from me. It is said that when righteous people pray together, even if their individual prayers differ, their prayers reach a higher spiritual level than if they prayed alone. When I am in prayer here in this sanctuary with you, all our prayers, yours and mine, you reach a higher level. You carry me to that level. I come here and you accept me as a Jew, a rabbi, along with Judy, my wife, a Christian, a long-term member of this church. At times, we might have some interesting discussions, and I can name who it would be with. And we do this over a cup of coffee and a smile. And no one is asked to become anything but what they are on their personal spiritual path. To answer the earlier question, I am a rabbi, a Jew by birth, by belief. And we, you and I, are in the right place. May God bless you and keep you.